Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my Lutheran Connections. Willie and Dr. Toto, what's going on in your world? Talk to me, guys.
You know, I'm so excited. I think my team Liverpool get. I don't know. Really want to feel good, but I'm just so concerned about. I'm so concerned about your health.
Do you
Before
see the
before
man?
yeah,
Look at the hat the
so,
man wearing right now. Look at the hat the man wearing right now.
uh, I'm so concerned about your health before he experienced a heart attack. That's all. You know. But other than that, Pittsburgh is good. We had a sunshine weather today. You know, we had a good service. Uh, our pastor spoke with the team, the sheep and the shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult to lead a sheep, and you the shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very good topic, you know.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad to be back on the show. I've been off too Sunday now due
Yeah.
to due to some family engagement. And thank you guys for hosting the show for carrying on the matter of the network. But we appreciate you guys the good work, and we are back on the show again for another discussion.
Awesome. Willie, do you have snow up there in
Yeah,
Georgia?
sure.
I know. I think I have sent all the
Yeah.
snow to you from Minnesota now. What's going on?
No. Actually, we've been having a very cool weather last week. The entire week was so cool. And listen, first of all, I want to recognize CM Brother Colley, Wesley Colley. CM Brother Wesley Colley have been
G.
a
Wesley
religious
College.
follower of MLC Talk. The G Wesley Colley. The moment MLC Talk goes live, the same brother G. Wesley Colley is the very first person. We need to invite him to the show, Elijah. We need to bring him here sometime next month.
We have
You
to.
know,
That is
yeah,
necessary. One day we'll have to invite him
Oh yeah,
over
sure.
here.
We did
yeah,
a
You
big
know
we
show.
need
what?
to
So
invite
You know what?
Brother
You
Colley,
see,
and
the
also
whole
maybe BB Colley as well.
yeah,
yeah,
you know the whole CM Friends block. We need to host them one
Yes,
day.
we need to host them. We need to bring them and host them. Yeah,
We need
we
to
can
bring
do
the
that.
whole
We can do
CM
that.
Friends block on board here so we can talk about some
Absolutely,
things. Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
but but
But to the point, you see, for those who follow soccer or football, as we call it, around the
mhm,
world, football. In America, people call it soccer. This is the thing. The
mhm,
Premier League is the most watched league in the world. It's the most,
mhm,
followed league in the world. And when it comes to football, and if you
mhm.
follow the record, Liverpool winning the Premier League is like Christmas light. It comes on December and goes off in
you
January. You
talk
won't see it
big
again
and
until
big, man.
December.
Going
We've
to
been there.
Liverpool,
We've
you
done
sorry.
that.
What do you want to
Listen,
open
we
Pip the
set
Rock
the
guys
record.
here?
We
We
want to
set
take the
the
rock
record
Alpha.
4 years 4 times in a row. Four
Yeah,
times in a row.
no, we
None
take
of
the
you
rock
have
Alpha.
ever done that. So I mean, we'll give it to Liverpool. It's like, Liverpool always have a drought after 30 years before they win it. So you can go ahead and win it again after 30 years. You come back.
Okay, you go there.
Well, that I told them that the ball is in your court to prove yourself. You know,
We get it this season.
once
We have it this season. We have it already this season.
Yeah, after 30 years again, you
yeah,
come back after
Yeah,
30 years.
the idea we
Yeah.
get it.
yeah, yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to say welcome to my Lutheran Connections, where we provide entertainment, education, and information as well. And today is an open mark, and we're going to be having a round table discussions around different topics here today. And we're going to open up the lines. So if you can call, we're going to post the numbers out there. You can call in, and you will be live on the show. And we're just going to be addressing different issues that are affecting our church today. And as we move along the show. So if you have anything on your mind, you can call. You can call, and then we will give you the opportunity to say what you want to say. If you want to contribute towards the topic we are discussing, you're also free to do so. One of the things that one of the most pressing issues of our society is the disruption of our traditional organization or our communion well-being. So most of our mainline churches most of our institutions, like Liberia, churches in Liberia, we find that there has been a lot of disruption into the way the traditional institution has been operating in Liberia. And then now it seems like almost all of the institutions in Liberia, they are at the crossroad. And how can we shift the way we think, the way we do things, to achieve or to catch up with the present day reality? It's very much important because as the world is moving, everyone else is moving along. So you can be started, you can be just standing there. You have to change as the world is changing. So with the Lutheran Church in Liberia today as a case study, as we'll be discussing, there are decisions that the church made in the past. And today we're going to be talking about some of those things. And one of the things that when we spoke to the bishop the last time, he said, "Oh, we want to do a centralized salary system. We want to develop a centralized salary system for our pastor." So, how is the church going to achieve that? What's the roadmap that leads to establishing a centralized salary-based system for the Lutheran Church in Liberia? What's your thought and how you think the LCO can achieve that? Dr. Toto, you are the most educated on this platform as it relates to degree right now. And you are the doctor. And I want to pick your brain on this. When we hosted the bishop the last time, the bishop said that one of the things that he's working on in the Lutheran Church is to have a centralized, standardized salary system for pastor based on the qualification, so that if that is done, we know that it will increase the efficiency of pastor going into rural areas to serve, because they know that they're going to get the kind of pay that the guy who's on the roll, he's going to get the same pay that the guy in Bel Air is getting, because the central administration is in charge. Central administration is paying. So he's not relying on the local congregation that he's assigned at to pay him when they can't even raise that kind of money. So how is the LCO going to achieve this? Because if the parishes are not supporting this process, how is the LCO going to achieve it?
Yeah. Good point, good discussion, Elijah. And I like how you introduce the topic. When it comes to the Lutheran Church in Liberia or any other institution in Liberia, as you said, the world is moving from one stage to another. And to be part of that process, we have to be innovative. And innovation comes in. So when we listen to the bishop focusing on merit-based system, where a pastor attained certain degree to be paid according to that degree. But the drawback has been the financial aspect of it. Do we have the resources? Have we reached the point where we can be a resource generating church that we can be able to pay our pastors based on qualification or merit? Have we reached that level yet? We see right now our parishes are even struggling to pay the 10% to the parish to central office. They don't even have it. So I think what central office should be working on to see how best for us to make our church to be a revenue generating church. We have the infrastructures. We have Lutheran infrastructures that can be turned into generating revenue for the church. If we look at our partners, the support that they give it, that come in that before again. As you said, we're looking at our ecumenical partners, they better the church. Look at what they are doing right before our eyes in terms of generating revenue for their church. Have we reached that capacity? Have we reached that level yet to generate income for our church? So the central office should be focused on meaning how to generate revenue for the church, not rely on the local parishes. And we said this a time ago. And we'll continue to preach on the message again, where we'll host one of our brothers on the show when he proposed the All Liberian Lutheran Conference. I think such a conference will open the door for so many opportunities to come to Lutheran Church, where you bring technocrats, engineers, lay leaders, pastors, parishes that come together to discuss the future of the Lutheran Church. We no longer getting the resources, the revenue from our partners. As the old saying go, if the center doesn't hold, the institution will not hold. So the central administration, we're for a part right away. So the central administration cannot hold to carry on some of those implementation that we talk on the show here. Then our local parish will not be successful. Then our pastor will just be working on the same old system that we have, Elijah. The pastor, what do you?
Thank you very much, Dr. Toto. There's a need to do resource mobilization in order to support the central administration. And that this is the thing, Dr. Toto. I get your point very seriously, and it's very much important that you strike that point. We know that in the past or present, the parish is supposed to raise certain amount of money as their support to the central administration. But how many parishes do we know that are living up to that promise? And let's take for an instant, if a parish is not raising the money to pay the pastor's salary, how is that parish going to raise money to bring the central administration for the central administration's operation? And I think one of the myths in our church that has perpetuated for a very long time, and our people have not been educated so much about it, is the issue of the central administration operation. People see the LCL central office as an institution by itself, and then they see the parishes as another institution by itself, and then being governed by the bishop. So the LCL by herself, by parishes contribution, they're not even able to pay the bishop's salary on a monthly basis if we're not receiving subsidies from our partners. So they're not able to pay the bishop. So, and this has been a long-standing issue. So with the bishop saying that he wants to achieve a standardized salary system for all of the pastors within the LCL, that's something really huge. That's a big challenge for me, and I rather let to see the roadmap for the bishop, because I know there are a lot of barriers and there are a lot of things that he needs to take into consideration, because our people are so fixated on certain way of doing things in Liberia and in the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And when you try to institute a change that would take some level of power for certain people, and then they will be resistant to change. And like I said, the world is changing right now. Like, we are living in America. The level of agility in this country, in corporate institutions, like, they are consistently changing. They are consistently improving how to make the system work, how to make the system better. So as a church, as people in Liberia, in the Lutheran Church, or Liberia as a whole, if we want to change, if we want to make improvement, we have to change. We have to develop system. We got to develop idea, protocol, processes that will enhance our process. But what I have seen over the years, Dr. Toto, is that people create system and they want the system to work itself. They don't work the system, but they want the system to work itself. And it doesn't work that way. You got to create a system and work the system so that the system can help enhance your job. So I would like to pick my brother Woody's brain on this as well. What you got to say about this?
So, thank you very much, Brother Elijah. This is a very good topic, and I will begin this way. The Bible says in Habakkuk 2, verse 2, that, and the Lord answered and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, You know, it reminds me of the days when we were in the choir at St. Matthew's when our senior brother Stephen Corbett would, you know, like a fish, make it plain. First of all, we need to see the roadmap. I agree with you. Oh no, I said, oh no. You know, we need a roadmap. Okay, this is the same problem now that we have to deal with this LUL issue. We need a roadmap. I mean, there's developing information that, you know, there's some plan of fundraiser for LUL. I'm not diverting from the topic for LUL. So every time we're going to be doing fundraiser to pay the president, run the university for one semester, then we'll go and do fundraiser again. We have 3 students in theological college. We need a roadmap for this. It's a brilliant idea. The Bible says, when a vision comes, write it down on paper. Let's see it. And Elijah, you struck a very, very important point also. The central administration and the congregation. The central administration, I mean, time past, the central administration just have been seen as this one big administrative society that the people outside don't know, but the people should support that entire, you know, administrative office. Okay, oh, the bishop is coming. Oh, yeah, everybody's staying. The acolytes are there and the pastors are there. Okay, the bishop is coming. That's it. But if you really ask our members, even in Monrovia district, the operation of our central administration, a lot of people will not tell you. And what we see most time is support central administration. But if the members are supporting central administration, what is central administration doing? So that the people or the congregation members can say, okay, this is what we are getting in return from the support that we're giving central administration. You know, like, for example, those who took the church to Liberia, the ELCA, it's a back and forth method. The local congregation support the Senate will support the national church, and the national church too also will come back and support the congregations or the Senate. It's the same thing, because every congregation will have to send a contribution to the Senate, and the Senate too will send that contribution to the national church. So having a centralized PA system is a brilliant idea. It's a good idea. Another thing too that I total strike on, talking about monetizing, you know, the our church. I don't think it's a bad idea, because if you look, the ELCA has a credit union. Okay, ELCA has a credit union. ELCA has a retirement program or a retirement foundation or corporation. Yeah, a retirement corporation, as we determine which is
Lutheran Social Services.
Right. Lutheran Social Services. Then you have Traven. There's another one called Protocol. You have all of those. Those are financial, you know, streams that come to the church. So if you are going to say that a church, not even out of Monrovia, within Monrovia district, there are some churches in Monrovia district that to even raise that money to pay their pastors, they cannot really afford that. And we're saying that a congregation is in Bokondile, that the members will make their contribution in cassava bag or rice or fufu, you know, saying that we should have a centralized paying system is a fine thing. But if you're sending someone in the interior in Bokondile, how do you expect that congregation to raise that amount of money to pay that pastor who is a master degree or BSc? Let's say a BSc holder that is going to Bokondile, or that is going to Fisebu, or that is going to Fokole. So again, it's a brilliant idea, but I will tell you that the vision needs to be written on paper, making it plain so everybody can understand. It shouldn't be another convoluted paperwork like the Aliyah, like the LUL that we have right now. And I will blame the Liverpool Dr. Tutu for such this whole issue right now we have with this whole LUL, you know, LUL business. Seriously. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Zina. I mean, that's the point I got.
Yeah, that's very much important with it. If we have to, if the LCL will achieve this vision or mission, they have to write it down and they have to make it plain. And how do they write it down and how do they make it plain? You have to invite the professionals. You have to invite
Exactly.
people who are in the field. You have to
Yep. They all are
you
brand
have to
nutrient
get some
conference.
experts involved
Mhm,
because
mhm,
this is for me. This is yeah, for me. This is a new idea, right?
mhm,
People, our people are not used to this kind of history change or something, and some people
mhm.
will they'll be super resistant to it because somebody will see it as you taking some level of power from them and bringing it to the central administration because I'm the Pirate Council chairman here, or we are the Pirate people here. We've been doing this, we've been doing that, we've been paying the pastor. We can decide we don't want the pastor because we paying him this X amount of money, and nobody can question us about it. But if you're taking the salary system from the parish and bringing it to the central administration, and then asking the parishes to support, because that's a good thing. Because all of the parishes within the LCL does not have the same financial capability to support the pastor. So, like you were saying, in the ELCA, parishes or synods that does not have a financial capability to sustain their pastor, that's when the central administration comes in and starts subsidizing that parish, paying their pastor until that parish or synod can get established. And I think that's the idea behind what Bishop Partman wants to do. But how do we get this
And
information? How do we get this information across the bowl down to the parishes and how they're going to embrace it? I know convention, all of our stuff that we do, it has to go to convention. Convention got to pass resolution, and then resolution got to be agreed upon, and then before it takes effect. But I think it's about time now that we as Lutherans, we have to put on a new thinking cap. How do we shift the future for the church? We've had generations after generation, and I like to say I like to sound like what the
Elijah,
political
Elijah,
leader for the ANC can say.
Elijah, you can be a little bit late. I don't know your network,
stop.
copy.
Sorry, Elijah. Can I just take a minute? Can I just take a minute on that? I don't want to lose my thought on something that you said, please.
Oh, I come in.
Yeah, you can be a little bit late. I know your network, copy.
Uh,
Okay, okay. Elijah is muted. Okay, so Elijah, can I just take a minute on this, please? Okay, so since Elijah is making a technical adjustment, I want to say something quickly that Elijah talked about, right? You see, our congregation, People's Community Lutheran Church, I was set as a very classic example. When there was a change taking place in People's Community Lutheran Church, we had this pastor coming in, and you know, with your education level, there's certain, and your experience, your qualification, there are certain amount that you should be receiving in the ELCA. Okay, so because our congregation at the time we were faced with some, financial challenges, what happened was that the amount that we could afford to pay the pastor, the ELCA also sent a subsidy to augment that amount and give it to the pastor. And we were placed under I think we're placed on a redevelopment or no, not mission developer congregation, but we're placed on a redevelopment congregation. So there are certain categories. We're placed on a redevelopment while we were working the process of gaining our strength back and be able to stand on our feet and pay our pastors. Now, let's go to the LCL. If this is not carefully studied, you will find out that some congregations will be having more burden than the other congregations. Say, for example, Feasible. Feasible might be able to pay maybe $100 or $200 if that's the requirement every month to the central administration. Now, there could be another congregation in Bokesa that will not be able to pay that amount. You have another congregation in Montserrat or in Monrovia district, like St. Matthew, the great St. Matthew. St. Matthew will be able to pay her amount, her pastor's salary. But you'll find out that a congregation, even in Monrovia district, cannot even afford to make that amount to pay the pastor's salary. So how is it going to be evenly distributed? Now again, I come in. Now again, it brings me to this question of rotation. If you want to take a pastor from Monrovia district and you want to send him to Bongonima, all right, wherein the congregation there to pay that amount to their pastor they cannot afford, but you want to do this rotation. I mean, it has to be carefully studied. If not, there'll be a lot of, there'll be a lot of hard feelings in this. Well, pretty much I want to say, I want to be very careful how I use it, but there'll be a lot of conflict in the entire process, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let me tell if I can really pick the bishop mind.
Yeah.
I think what the bishop try to showcase in the pastor salary issue with the central office, I think they try to the central office or the bishop office try to take a little bit of burden from the local parishes. Where the local parishes can come a certain percentage to pay their pastor based on qualification. Where they fall short, the central office come in. I think that's why. That's why I'm looking at the whole scenario. But like you said, you have to be black and white. We have to see
exactly the vision has to be written plain.
I don't think the bishop office would not have it written black and white. And like we said, the convention coming up, the convention is a higher decision making body. Take it to the convention, let the convention look at it on roadmap and then vote upon it. I think I just feel this clinical.
Okay. So now just a thing.
So like I said, right? Like I said,
go ahead. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, right? Yeah. The bishop office, looking at the financial constraint of the church, they are trying to take away some of the financial burden from the local parishes and then place on the central administration. They would probably see in the whole scenario whether the central administration will have that capacity, that fundraising capacity to generate the revenue to pay the pastors. That's why I'm looking at. I think it is a good process. It is a good initiative. They are trying to pay people on a merit basis. It will take away some of the burden from the local churches, from the central administration.
It is a good idea.
We talk about insurance. We talk about insurance. All those other things you mentioned. Some of our pastors have been left without local medical care. Some of them got sick. Some of them passed away. Their soul rest in peace. We in America, Aliyah, we had to come in to help to raise some funds to care to other pastors that have a medical issue. So the central office he had reached a stage that they are overwhelmed financially. They don't have that resources coming in. And they also the support for the local parishes that come in based on the population also too. We're talking about way in River G and other legal counties. The population are compared to maybe Bon County, Boswell County, or MyGB. See the population increase to the places. The local parishes raise good money for that side too. But where about people that in the rural area, in the far legal county? So those are considerations. And I believe that the central office, the bishop office, they have a good roadmap. Maybe they will present it to the convention coming up, or they'll share that to us so we can take a look at it. But it is a good idea. Let's support it.
All right, folks. You can call, please. The number on the screen is 404 539-9770. It's 404-539-9770. Please call us and make a contribution, please. Yes. So, Dr. Toto, again, I agree with you, right? But again, we need to write our vision, make it very, very plain. Our people will see it. Our people will understand it. It's the same thing when we came up and said, oh, let us have the Lutheran school system. Everyone said, oh, yeah, it's a brilliant idea. You know, this reminds me of the story, you know, that says, we have a call coming in. It reminds me of the story that says, we want to, you know, who will build a cat? It is a good thing for us to build a cat. You know, all the rats, the rats decided that when the cat is coming, we should put a belt on the cat so that we can hear the sound, because the cat can move so slowly. They said, yes, that's true. Then one of the rats came out and said, who will build the cat? So the idea is brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. But how can our people understand this? Remember, we had the same problem with the Lutheran school systems. We saw other institutions. They had a very nice system outlined. The Lutheran school system, they were running with it. We tried ours. It did not work. We had to go back to the parishes. But we have a caller on the phone. Let's take this caller right here. Your name and where you calling from, your contribution, please.
Yeah, so this is Reverend Sumo P. Kokoro. I'm calling from Luther Seminary Campus, St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yes, thank you very much, Reverend Kokoro, for calling in. And what's your contribution on this topic, please?
Yeah, it is a brilliant idea to have centralized pay system. And I think, yeah, I look at two ways of either doing it. Number one is you have certain amount that is charged parishes, not huge, to be kept in a restricted account for a certain number of years, because it can be abrupt, certain number of years, or to be accumulating. And as it accumulates, you know that it's able to now pay pastors maybe 1 or 2 years. Then you begin to pay, and they still continue to pay that amount, or maybe you could also reduce it after you start paying. You accumulated some profit, and you know that you can be able to pay pastors for 1 or 2 years or 3 years. Then you reduce the taxation on the parishes, and they continue paying the little amount as they go along. It's in the account, is growing some profit. Gradually, you are still paying the pastors. Or another way that the SDA, the system the SDA use, that they are moving so fast in Liberia, is that they have all of them. They have one deposit account. They put their money to one place, and it is being managed by the central office. When they want to do project, the request and the project is being done in their churches. And so when the SDA want to do some project, you just see them to go fast, because all of them have their money in one place. So they pay their pastor for nursing account. They pay they do projects for nursing account, because annually they pay according to their financial strength. Like some will pay like $4 million Liberian dollars annually to the central office. There are some that will pay $7 million. Just like that, based on the financial strength, they have their accounts in one place. It is being properly managed by the central office. But our challenge is that many a time, people deposit money into central office. It's not being properly accounted for. People will steal from the central office. They go sky-free without any investigation, or without any action taken against them. They just go sky-free. That will only be the fear. Even though we did not start with it by depositing in one place, and based on our financial strength, but I think that is introduced, though it will have some parishes, it will be able to create some issues, but it's a good thing. That's why SDA is doing. They are going so fast like that. Those are the two ways I look at. You either do taxation, minimum taxation is being kept in the bank for a certain amount of years to accumulate profit, and you begin to pay the pastors while reducing the taxation on the parishes, or everybody put their money in one place and managed by the central office.
Hold on the line, Reverend Cockler, so that we can ask you some questions, please. Dr. Toto is here. He's gonna ask you a question, and then also our brother Elijah Zena will also ask you a question. Dr. Toto.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend Cockler. You brought to a good point.
I'm listening.
Okay, hold on 1 second. We want to get Toto on here. Dr. Toto, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead now. You have any question for? You have any?
Let me put a comment on Reverend Cockler. He brought a good point, or either discussion, or talking about transparency in central office. That speak of corruption also too. So Reverend Cockler, some time ago, the central office took a decision in the asset declaration. So certain people were prosecuted. We learned that they were sent for prosecution on mismanagement of funds in the central office. And now you are talking about joint account where all the parishes send their money into a central office to open a joint account where they want to run a project. They get a request through that central office. That look at the issue of transparency, accountability. Do you think that will work in the Lutheran Church in Liberia in terms of when you were there? What were your experience when it comes to transparency, accountability in the central office?
I also mentioned that as a problem because I said people do things and they just go sky-free, right? I mentioned that. But if that is to be done, then you can have a strong team that is managing that work along with central office to manage those accounts. I suggested two ways. Either by taxation, that would be not much. You will take the entire responsibility from the parity at the moment.
Reverend Cockler,
setting a money in charge.
Reverend Cockler, hold on 1 second.
Reverend, I know you mentioned it, but my question is, when you were in Liberia, serving as a pastor, what were your experience when it comes to transparency, accountability in the central office?
Well, I did not work with central office, right? So I can't tell you that this is my experience there, or this is what I experienced there. I can tell you about parish level, but I cannot tell you anything about central level. But there were information that some people took money, right? But that's what I said. It has to do with sincerity in management. Central office, we have to stand strong to make sure that if even there is a corruption issue that people mismanage monies, they should be held accountable for it. They should not go scot-free. I mentioned that there are people who took money before and they went scot-free without anything. It happened even St. Peter's at their own parish. It happened there before. Before even think about central office. So these things happen. It just have to do with sincerity. If we can really be sincere to ourselves that, no, we want to do this, but this is what we need to do. We have a particular system in place, while others working with central office, maybe from imperial parishes, to make sure that things go well. Financial management thing.
Okay. Hold on the line, Reverend Cockler. We have a second question here from Brother Zena.
Reverend Cocker, thank you for your contribution. I think that's very important. Accountability is key to our church, and we know that there's a series of stories, many stories out there about mismanagement of the church's assets, and that's very much important to hold people accountable who are stealing from the church. However, I want to find out from you. You said that what the advantage are doing, putting their money together and other kind of stuff. I want to know from you, when you were serving as a pastor at Gayton St. Andrew's Lutheran Church, is there a quota that you people paid to the LCO as central administration support? If yes, what was that amount like?
Well, we pay money for central support, central office support, and even the district support, right? We have payment for the district support and the district office support and all of the central office support, but it's based on category. The Monrovia district have category A, they have category B, and they have category C, and as far as D. So based on the
All
categories,
right, can you break down those categories for us?
Yeah, that's why he said A, B, C, and D.
yeah.
Yeah, no, what is the A? When you said category A, who are those that falls within A? Who are those that falls within B? That's what I say now.
St. Matthew is in A. I know St. Matthew is in A.
Those are in A.
Shut up.
That's Peters, St. Matthew, St. Andrew,
Bannersville.
Bannersville.
See, Bannersville is not in category A.
Bannersville is in A. Why you say we're not in A? Bannersville is in A.
Military.
Our once a council member of Bannerville, remember that, and I know Bannerville is in category A.
Peaceful Lutrichurch here.
Haha. Support to the defense of Bannersville. Bam, bam.
That's my parish. My dad parish right here.
Yeah, okay, Reverend, go ahead and tell you guys are paying to the central administration category A people.
Based on the financial strength of those parishes. All right. Again, that's why we have to be our brothers' keepers, right? You know that your brothers and in Middlesbrough will not be your brothers and sisters. In Middlesbrough will not be able to pay certain amount. So that's why it was. It was looked at based on the financial strength. So it was the thought of being our own brothers' keepers. So that's why you see A, B, C, based on the financial strength.
Couple, do you have any question for the Reverend?
No, where will he?
Okay.
Reverend is still speaking in court for me. When you tell me that, the payment to the central administration, it has been distributed in the categories, right? A, B, C, and D, F, Y, Z. So what I want to understand from the Reverend is that those that are in category A, okay, how many percent of the income supposed to go to the LCL? And how committed are the parishes in remitting this amount to the central administration? With St. Andrew being the case study, that's what I really want to hear from the Reverend.
Well, when I was there, St. Andrew, even though sometimes we have some pitfall, but we try to be regular in our payment. Now sometimes when we have financial challenges, I mean, sometimes we'll be on one or two times, and then it was just like that. And it also happened to other parishes. It was not, especially Ikimata after the pandemic. It was like the finances of the parishes really dropped. The income of the parishes really dropped. So it became a time of struggle. That things were not really going well as compared to the time before the pandemic. You see.
So Reverend, if you can just estimate and say the last time you remember paying
Elijah,
how much?
Can I come in and let me help Reverend?
Yeah,
Can I come in? Okay, I can remember
I
when.
really want to hear the figure.
Yes, when I was serving as financial secretary for Bannersville Parish, it was 10% of your total budget to LCL. 10% of your total budget. That what we were paying to LCL. 10%. But then later on, the 10% were not going. Parishes were not remitting it to LCL. So at one convention by then, I have left the leadership. At one convention, I think they canceled the 10%, and it was a fees. It was a fees. Yeah. It was a fees. It was a tax per parish. And I remember Bannersville, our tax was I think $100,000. I stand to be corrected. It was 100,000 out of 50 or half of it. Yeah, but it was 10% of the total budget of your total budget. That why should be given to LCR by then. But because parishes were not remitting that 10%, that was how LCR when they went for the convention. Convention agreed that they be taxed, and Bush was 100,000.
But how? So I have a question for Kopo.
Yeah.
How will St. Bernardville be in category A when you cannot pay 50%?
50%? I did not say 50%. I said 10% of your budget. Bernardville was remitting. Even if Bernardville was not paying the total 10% of the budget, Bernardville was contributing to LCR. Like for what Mary said, after the COVID, the income dropped at the parishes. So if you look at it, that money was going slowly. But what we used to do, our separate financial secretary and since Comfort Freeman was as treasurer, what we used to do, every quarter, we will remit. Every quarter, we divide our 10% into the quarterly basis. And we used to send it to LCR. But after things went worse with parishes, after the COVID, that when the payment slowed, another thing again, there was no push to the very parishes. Central office was just complacent. Primarily what they were getting, it was enough for them. But to go to parishes and push, the only time you will see that when we're going for convention, you see one letter, you have to pay this for your contribution. You bring 10 cartons of chicken, 50 cartons of spare. Why one parish will carry 10 cartons of chicken, 50 cartons of spare for convention? Just for someone to pack it and carry the banners home? That was too much for parishes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things was whenever a parish, let me set it now. When I was in Andrew, let me set that as an example. When we were owing some money, we went, especially the last convention we had before I came. That was the election convention in Banga, and the boy Bishop Pablo. If you were owing LCR and you did not pay, you will not vote. Your family will not vote. So everybody was supposed to pay.
Yeah.
Right? They had to pay.
You know, but
I got one more question. I got one more question for Reverend.
Yeah. I think we got one more question for Reverend. But before Reverend, I just want to express just the 30 seconds, please, Elijah.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that Kopo will come on live on the show and defend in Bernardville that you were not paying your quota because you were not giving a push from central administration. I just seen Bernardville owes the LCR an apology. You need to come publicly and apologize to the LCR.
What did you say?
Oh, pick up couple.
No, I did not say Bernardville refused to pay her contribution. Get me right. Bernardville did not refuse. Even the parishes were struggling. The parish has an obligation. The parish supposed to settle salary.
Matthew Arata was struggling.
Even Matthew, who he talking about? Even the best in Peter's get check and all a bounce. Then why you want to?
Oh, you see it? Power check.
Seriously? People.
I just put that in Matthew, man. I just put
Couple and Reverend. No, the information couple you just provided, right? And what Reverend just said, it brings us to the question of commitment. And as we are talking about developing a standardized salary system for LCR pastors, right? Yeah, and you see parishes are even struggling to look. You talk about $100,000 annually from Bernardville. That if you take it at a rate of $190 to $1 US, you're talking about $526 whole year. Yeah. For Bernardville to give to LCR as their support. But remember now, what Bernardville was remember you have extra contribution too.
But
listen now.
everyone that will bring you on the show.
Wait.
Wait
Now. This is the point. The issue is not about.
Remember, I'll see the link. Hang up. I'll see the link, Reverend. Come and join us.
Wait. Give the bitches. Give them a total chips.
I have a question to Reverend before I lost my thought.
The
Remy is coming.
Because the issue is very critical. That I thought the issue is very critical. Yes, for LCL and what the bishop is proposing now to decentralize salary system. And you got parishes, the parish the Bannersville, well, when they have already one man is paying Bannersville and say I get $1,000 as my support to the rally. Then no, they can get $525 or $26 to the administration. It's not about parishes.
But why you pick your Bannersville so
the
much?
issue here is it's not about parishes refusing. Parishes have the obligation.
It's not an issue of Bannersville. It's a change.
No, it's not refusing. I'm not on the path of refusing. My issue here is the minimum amount that's supposed to go to the church, right? Wherein we talk about commitment to a process, commitment to institution growth.
Elijah,
if you say you want the central administration to develop, we have to be committed to the process. So whether Mr. X is in the office, he ate the money or he never ate the money, that's why we are institution. We should call people to vote. We should prosecute people. So now when you call somebody, you say you can ask the question because people.
You're not getting a couple points.
Don't get me wrong. No, I'm not ready responding to couple. Because people eat money, so Bannersville refuse to pay. No, Bannersville never refused to make any contribution to the central office. Couple before you came on, Coco had spoken about corruption in the LCL as one of the hindrances of people making contribution to the central office. So your point when you and trying to get the information about how much these parishes are in category A paying to the LCL central administration, because the $500 that Bannersville is paying to LCL central administration does not even pay 2 staff for a month in the central office. It does not. But if that money is coming, when that money is coming consistently, if that money is consistent and is coming, it can enhance, it can help central administration to work. So my thing is the commitment. It is the commitment issue. How do we get parishes to be committed to do this, to see this as a responsibility instead of looking at it as a burden? Because we all should come in and come up with strategy in recommitting ourselves to LCL. That's why we all should come in, because Bannersville is not the only parish. There were all of the parishes within LCL, even the rural parish that is paying $5. That's why we all should come here and recommit ourselves.
Remy is here. Okay, good. Remy is here, but Remy, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anatoto is sounding far off.
No, go
ahead.
I think I'm much better.
You were?
Yeah, before you kill the show.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Remy is not available yet. Why not ask my question?
No, Remy.
Why would Coco come on the show and brag that because the LCL, the Bible says pay a 10% tax?
When you stop misquoting me, I did not say because LCL did not do follow all our make parishes are not paying. These are some of the factors. These are some of the factors.
Remy, let me ask my question to Remy. Remy, thank you for coming to the show. My question is, on the pastor or bishop proposal, when it comes to merit-based salary, for you guys to pass based on your qualification.
That I told you is only very low.
Oh my God. Let me try to increase my phone. I don't know why. You can hear me with it? You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I'm all the way to my volume increased to the...
The volume to the highest though.
Yeah. you know.
Couple, why you going beyond that? You going to add what he need? But Tamba to come on the show.
I already, but I increased my volume. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Be much better, Brother.
Okay. So, Larry, my question is: you were a pastor yourself, the LCE in Liberia, and you are here going to school, and the bishop proposal is the merit basis and based on qualification. Now, you are talking about category A, category B, category C.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you complete your study, I believe that's a master program you're in. If you happen to return to Liberia, the bishop assign you to category category C church.
Category D church.
They send to category C church. So be the master degree holder. How will you feel? Do you support the bishop merit basis to increase to pay salary based on their qualification?
Well, in every sector, nobody wants to ever be underpaid in any situation, right? Nobody ever want to be underpaid for the work you do. But I'm somebody who have never rejected an assignment since I've been in the LCO. Whatever they have sent me, I have gone there, and I did my contribution that I'm able to do. If the decision comes from the bishop office that I should go to a category C parish, even though I was pastoring in a category A parish before I came here, I have no choice. I mean, I have no choice. I have to go, right? Even though right now we do not have a central pay system, but I will have to fulfill my calling.
That's what we're together.
Yeah. I have a question for Reverend Kokolo.
Yeah.
Reverend Kokolo. The bishop is asking, let me not go to the bishop right away. I want to ask you the question on this, that one of our brothers came here and one of our brothers came on the show 2 weeks ago, in the month of January. He proposed an all Liberian Lutheran conference, and he Elijah from the same congregation, the congregation that would rather check and bounce St. Peter's. Okay. Propose the all Liberian.
Come on, you don't open another Bendera.
See, Matthew would never read it. Look, see, Matthew.
You are talking about LCA. Yeah, we are discussing LCA. Forget about St. Matthew. Let's discuss LCA.
We just want to make sure things are clear. He proposed an all.
I just got credible information that I checked that bank was from St. Matthew.
No, I checked it was Peters, from St. Peters. And of course, Dala Kokoya here to answer from St. Peters. Dala Kokoya someone else. Dala Kokoya someone else. Dala Kokoya.
Okay, go ahead with the question.
I'm still listening for your waiting for your question.
Get a question.
Okay, so Brother Cesar Goya from St. Peter's and Elijah Zinan from the Check Bounce Check congregation proposed an all Liberian Lutheran conference, and with the suggestion from Bishop of a centralized pay system and reform in our school system, reform in our health system, reform, in the LCA as a whole. What is your own take on this proposal? It's just a proposal, the All Liberian Lutheran Conference. What do you think about it?
I followed the show on that day. I was
good.
Following, and it was a wonderful time of discussion. And when he proposed that, I was like, wow. Okay. I think this is something that we can hold on to, and to be able to have people. The moment you have stakeholders from everywhere, I mean, within the church gathering to discuss matters, for the growth of our church, I think people will come. It should not be like the national convention that we have or the biennial convention we have.
Yeah.
It should be a special gathering where you even, if Aliyah can be invited to that all Lutheran conference, I think it can be the good thing for us to say they have some of these things, some of these burning issues discussed and found a way out to see how best we can be able to help our church from here forth. You know, we have stayed so long in limbo, so we need to wake up. There are a lot of things that we are back in. There are a lot of things that we started from the beginning that people counted on us, but we are dragging. So I mean, but with that idea that to have all Lutherans conference where we can be able to, all of us can be able to meet the stakeholders from the church, can be able to gather and discuss matters affecting the church and to see how we can push growth for the church. I think it's a very good thing to do. And I really embraced that. I was one of those that really gratulated him for the idea. I mean, I was on the show that day. I was following that day rather, not on the show. But I followed the show that day, and I was one of those that really appreciated his suggestion.
Reverend Eric Doe, check your impact. I sent you the link. Reverend Eric Doe, you said you want to join us. I sent you the link to join us on the show. Elijah, go ahead. I just wanted to inform Reverend Doe.
Elijah, can we recognize our guests?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Woody, and thank you to everybody. I think this has been a really good conversation around the preacher's idea of creating a centralized system for the LCO pastors. And I think one of the key factors that
you got two here, yeah.
And I think
yeah, sorry, yeah.
And I think you guys are hearing me?
Yeah, we are you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think one of the key factors one of the key things that the LC are going to face as a challenge will be the issue of commitment to this process and the issue of developing a really good roadmap that everybody will embrace and move forward with it, and everybody be on the same page. Because the church right now is in a dispensation that is completely different from the church in the 1860s, in the 1800s. The church is not dividing kerosene anymore. The church is not distributing dung and flat to people anymore to come to church. Now the church is leading in the direction of being sustainable. So, like I said the last time, like if the church is self-propagating, it's self-governing, the church should be self-sustainable. And that arm of the church, the sustainability part of the church, the LCA has been struggling with that part of the church so much. The idea to lease part of the LCA compound, the first lease that Bishop Harris did during his administration, the idea to lease that portion of the compound was the idea of moving the church towards self-sustainability, leveraging the property the LCA got, some of the properties she has, in order to bring in resources to the church so that as donors are withdrawing, money coming from these institutions or these leases will be used to sustain the central administration, to sustain the employees of the church. But we've seen a whole big change in that whole process, in that whole idea of the leases of the LCS property. All of the lease agreements that the LCF has signed over the year, if you look at it and you go to the central administration today and say, okay, what has been the impact of the lease that you've signed over the year? How many years have you taken from this dude who has been leasing the LCF property? How many years have you taken from him? And what have we done with the money that we've taken from this guy over the year? These are some questions that you might find some answers for, and this might be some questions that you might not even get the answers from. And you'll be pushed around, and you will get tired. You will leave it. So we have to develop a roadmap if we want to lead this church into a path of sustainability. We have to develop a roadmap how we want to get there. And like we all are saying, the All Lutheran Conference It's a good idea, and we have to plan it. And we have to have a clear objective on what we want to achieve from this All Lutheran conference. Because if we're having the All Lutheran conference, you are inviting experts from around the world, inviting them to the LCA, come to Liberia. You inviting local experts, and people are going to take up their time to come and sit down. So you have to leverage the opportunity you have within the LCA. And I can always say this: the LCA is not brain drain. The LCA is very rich with a lot of intellectuals, people who know how to do things, you know. But if you don't reach out, you don't invite people to come and help you to do something, and you think I'm the bishop or I'm the leader, I'm able to do everything, you will not achieve. And people who know how to do it, they'll be sitting and looking at you. You've been struggling with the process. And they will not come and say, I'm going to do it for you, because you never invited them. So I think this has been a really good conversation. And I hope the bishop and his leadership, they're listening, so they can take cue from some of these conversations, so that they can see how best they can develop this idea into a workable thing that can be beneficial to the church. With that, whether you want to recognize our viewers, and there's some questions in the chat, so, some comments there, so we can respond to some of them, and then we can go on with the show.
Sure, absolutely. And again, I'm glad to recognize our viewers. Very first person, our senior brother G. Wesley Colley. And then, I mean, obviously, we have our Reverend here. Again, Reverend wants to say thank you very much. Our brother Cizzy Guya. So, our viewers, if you were following, Cizzy Guya is from St. Peter's. He and Elijah Zina. They represent St. Peter's on this platform this evening. And he's asking, I think he made a comment here. He made a comment saying, pastor's salary should be based on commission. The more money raised in the church, the higher. Yeah, raised in the church, the higher
their salary.
Their salary. They should get paid 10% of offering.
Si Peter pastor da get good salary.
No, when you made to the Guya, the bishop of the LCA today, all the pastors will resign.
All right, that's good. We have the Reverend Doe here as well, so he will be making his contribution. Welcome, Reverend Doe. All right, so quickly I will go down. Cizzy Guya had another comment. I think he was just talking about pastors. He said the pastor should be responsible for improving the employability of the members. If pastor salaries are tied to their ability to raise money, like a car salesman, they will stop being mediocre.
Mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre. Then he talked about if a pastor, anyway, we got two pastors here. So, pastors, I hope you are taking cue. For me, I'm not a pastor, I'm an acolyte, okay? So he said, if a pastor only pays for a financial breakthrough, pray for financial breakthrough. That's something from our other brothers and sisters that he was talking about. So let's jump to the other comment right here. Says William P. We want to say welcome. They're following us. It's a very good conversation. William P. is here. William P. is following actually from Totota. Stefan Sewala is following from Banga City. Leroy is from St. Matthews. Leroy Molba is following us from St. Matthew Lutheran Parish. Bemba Dukle is following us on Pipeline when town. Our brother Kezeliba V. Bazi is following us from the Ghana, Republic of Ghana. Kezeliba, we still need to go to Bay and stop and eat a fish from there. And our Reverend J. Louis Mackey, we want to say God bless you. Thank you again for following us. He's following us from Cabra Estes Cinco. And we thank our sister couple Silly for that powerful prayer on that day. Our Reverend Doe obviously is here. We want to say thank you. I will leave our father for last. I want to recognize our sister, Royal Nipe Jawe. I want to recognize you.
Kennedy G.
Yep, Kennedy G. Our sister has a comment here. She says,
No, that's
to
Stevie
support the
Sewala. He
LCA.
has the comment.
Is that Stevie? Oh, I thought
Stevie,
Stephen.
Yeah, that's
go
Stevie
ahead.
Sewala. Yes.
That's the EPG. Okay. Stevie Sewala says that to support the LCL head office, I think it would be good for every member of the church in and out of Liberia to pay $1 as rally 2 times in a year. We can do it if we put our all into it. Brilliant idea. And our mother, Sarah Nambe Johnson. I mean, that's a good idea too. Sarah Nambe Johnson want to say thank you so much. And our father is here. Brother Toto from Totota. Why your congregation again, Brother Toto? Peaceful,
again?
right?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Can you pronounce the Bible name, please? Remember,
pronounce the name, man.
Menipele Kesmo.
Yeah. You improve your name when you don't be scared to call the name. That Menipele Kesmo. That's the Bible name there.
Menipele Kesmo. That's his name. Menipele Kesmo. He's found us from St. Louis, Missouri. Elijah, we have our 2 distinguished pastors that just joined us. So I mean, take control, brother.
Good. Oh, Reverend Eric Doe, I'm glad that you joined the show. Thank you for coming. And we're gonna be quick here. And good to see you, Reverend Doe, and thank you for the work you've been doing with the LCS school system. I'm not going to ask you about the standardized salary system. I know we've had enough talk on that one. So I'm going to change the topic to this.
Okay.
You can talk about it if you want, but I think we said a lot about it. But I really want to find out from you because you are in this position. Some times ago, the LCL convention made a decision that LCL pastors should be the one to head LCL institutions. Only pastors should head institutions. And over the years, we have seen pastors heading LCL institutions. Has this process been meaningful to the LCL, or has the church been failing in this process of just putting pastor into institution who doesn't have the technical know-how to run certain institution that they were placed in?
Thank you so much.
Like to hear your thought on that.
Yeah, thank you so much for the show. I decided to ask to come in due to the very good lecture, the topic about pastor salary, something that I have also felt over the years. I have also experienced as a pastor for the past 22 years. Well, let me go to your question. I can remember the LCL making any decision or a policy for only pastors to head Lutheran institution. I can remember when that was decided and how it was decided. I can't remember. But when you talk about pastor heading institutions, well, nothing should forbid any pastor for heading any institution in the LCL. Just as members have the capability, the capacity to head institutions, pastors are also people who have the capability and the experience, job experience and professional experience to head LCL institutions. There are pastors who head different institutions, department, and institution in the LCL. They have done extremely well. But when you say whether it is a good thing, yes, it's a good thing. It also helped the church. Like I said, other pastors have done well. Probably 1 or 2, like any other person, they are human being. They may have made some mistake to not succeed or met the aspiration of people. But pastors should have the opportunity to hear institutions, but to say that the LCL made that decision, that determination that only pastors should be here at the institution. I don't know when and where that came from. I just wanted to correct that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Reverend. Well, I know there was a decision. I can't lay my hand on it, but I will do a research and come up with that year. But I know somewhere in the corridor that decision was made somewhere. It came out in the executive council meeting. I think it was around the time the formation of the HIV and AIDS program. It was around the time that that conversation came up, and there were a lot of things that were said. And during the Bishop Harris's administration, that decision was reached for pastors to head institutions and stuff like that. That's what led to even the youth director, who was then a student of GST at the time. Reverend Gono was still a student in GST. He was not a pastor yet. They had to change him and brought in the pastor to head the youth department because Reverend Warner then was not ordained. So if you ask TJ, Thomas Jala, you ask Dara Kokwe and other people, they'll be able to tell you something about what I'm saying. But I know there was a decision um, when the youth went for the convention where a lot of young people in the Yekepa convention, where a lot of young people, Thomas Jala and other people were denied because they were seminarians, they were not ordained, and they did not meet the youth age anymore. They were denied for running in the youth department, and that issue came about only the ordained pastors supposed to head institution and everything of the LCA, and that was when they also protested that Reverend Gondo then be changed because he was still a seminary as well, and he was heading the youth department. So he got changed, and then when he became ordained, he came back to the youth before Boyba and Jessica and other people followed. But that's something to research. But I know it happens sometime down the line. If it has changed, good. That's a good thing that it has to change, because I think it is good to open up leadership to everybody in the church, especially when it comes to institutions of the LCL. We have some institutions within the LCL that require some real skilled people who study in that field to be able to run that institution effectively. But however the case might be, Reverend, let's talk about the LCL school system. Can you tell what have been some of your success story right now?
Elijah, before we go to the school system, yeah, I wanted to make a comment on the same having pastors and maybe a couple or what's the name want to come into that. But let me just take this 1 minute, please, Brother Zina. The point you made, Brother Zina,
go ahead.
Yes, pastors heading institutions, or pastors should be the only one to head institutions. I think there was a mistake. There was a mistake by previous administrations, and this mistake needs to be corrected. I'm telling look, if you look at the guest house when what's her name, Christina Kwangba ran the guest house. She ran the guest house successfully because she is a career manager. She ran that guest house successfully. Okay, and to the point you made, if it wasn't for that policy or that decision that was made in executive council or a convention, there's the example you said with Reverend Gono. I would set the same example with in the HIV and AIDS department that Dala did not get the chance to lead, or maybe Stephen Corver because they were loyalty. The same thing with trauma healing. Reverend Nushin had to go to seminary and become a pastor and ordained to head the trauma healing reconciliation program. But if the person is trained to that area, okay, in that field, I think that we should try to remove this wall that have only pastors to lead programs in the church, and have career individuals to lead these areas. And when you have this happening, pastors will focus on the congregation, and you will have career individual focusing on these programs. And something quickly I want to say, and I will just turn it over to you. I will turn it back to you.
No, come.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you will come in couple just 20 seconds on this. The issue of this, back again to this pastoral salary thing, having a centralized pay system. We've leased everything around, or the only thing that is left now is to lease the mean land that the the remaining piece of land, because we've leased everything around there. It's just an island or peninsula. That's the only remaining thing that is left to lease, and we're going to lease that again. Okay, and all of the land and everything that we've leased around us, that money is nowhere to even say you're going to set it as a restricted fund that will be used to carry on this centralized pay system scheme that we wanted to work. Again, we're going to go back to our fellow congregations or congregants. We're going to go back to them and start to ask them again. The idea that Stephen brought, that's a fun idea. Okay, $1. We said this before. People contributed $1 and even more than $1. Even $50 people contributed just 50. But what did just 50 used to? We don't know. So, I mean, again, I maintain that the vision should be written and everyone should see how far this vision is going to take us.
Thank you, Willie. Corporal, you want to come in?
Yes. Yes, concerning pastor health institution, what is the point you raised? Where you said the pastors should step aside and give the laity chairs. For me, once the
I did not
pastor
say step aside. No, I said if the laity,
the pastor should focus on the congregation.
Focus on the
And bring
congregation,
qualified leaders, right? Or
yeah, we have qualified leaders.
And bring
Absolutely, yeah.
experts. Yes. For me, I don't want to see it that way. It shouldn't, for me, that is just lift up the whatsoever that the pastor, only pastor should help institution. It can be open, they can bring in some laity, but it shouldn't be limited to a pastor. For me, that's my point. It shouldn't be just pastor. That's for the youth department, for example. It shouldn't be limited to a pastor. You'll find someone who got interest in youth or who studied whatsoever, right? You can give it. Trauma healing. They get other people HIV. It shouldn't just be pastor. Let it be open. If a pastor is appointed, fine. But it shouldn't be limited to a pastor.
Okay.
And couple, to your point, couple. You and Willie are saying the same thing, and couple, to your point, and one of the things that I have seen happen in the LCL because of this situation where pastors are taken out of the pulpit and brought to head institutions, and then you have other pastors that are struggling in local parishes. They are struggling. It brings about that superior. Some of them feel that they are superior than the other pastors, and it brings about conflict. And some of the conflicts that we have in the LCL today is. It's all about this pay disparity, because I am the director of the HIV and AIDS program. I'm making it $1,000, $2,000 a month,
and I'm assigned
and I'm also an associate pastor to another parish. So your income is so big that you can even help to pay another person's salary, or the pastor who's in the local parish, you should be able to help them pay their salary, but that is not happening. So because of that, the guy who is serving in the local area, when he comes to town, he sees all the big guys riding all the big cars in the central administration, like they feel so limited, and that brings about some level of envy, some level of grudge, some level of jealousy. And because we are all human beings. I got my family. I need to support my family. I got master degree. You got a master degree, but I'm serving in Zwenzu, and you are serving in Monrovia in the central office head of the administration. When I'm struggling to find money to send my children to school, you are driving your children in the morning and taking them and dropping them to school. That is so wrong. That is so wrong for an institution to do that to people who are serving at the equal level. So the pastors should do the pastoral work. So if the pastor is qualified to head an institution, if the pastor is qualified to lead an institution, yeah, give it to him. But if the pastor is not qualified, don't put him there. Don't put him there. So today in the LCL now, you get that big disparity between the pastors, because the pastors are serving in the They believe that the pastors who are serving this institution are making more money than they are. And sometimes it might not be the reality. Some of the pastors, institution, they are also dragging it. So we know we had the rainy days in the LCL. We had when the sun was shining, and now the rainy days are in the LCL. We know some of the institutions are not struggling because there was no strategic exit plan written by these people who were heading this institution when the sun was shining in them. There were no exit strategies put into place when there's a donor withdrawal. How do we sustain this program? They did not do it. So at this point, all of the programs are now, they are suffocating right now. They are barely surviving. So these are some of the things that we are talking. It's not just about putting a pastor there, but you have to put a technical person there who knows how to work the system, make the system work. Even if this donor is going out, they're able to put another donor in to be able to sustain the program. So, Reverend Doe, we got you.
That's another one, Elijah. Like you see, like let me just portray what you just said. I beg you, just a minute. Like you see, on this side, my church, right? The church buy properties, and those properties they are rented out. We generating money from those properties, right? Money is coming in. Same as LCL. LCL has property that they lease. It's just an issue of managing. I don't know what happened with the lease. Where's the money? Or they have taken all of the money from the lease. We don't want all the people now. And another thing, I think someone scratched the issue of salary disparity, right? I can remember when I saw Reverend Pierre at Barnesville. Reverend Pierre said he was a master's degree, and I think that there is something on fire for master's degrees holder. Pastors that have master's degrees. There are. I'm saying this because I said I worked with the council before, and not just as any other, but as financial person. So when they assigned Reverend Pierre to Barnesville, Reverend Pierre said he was a master's degree holder. You were not getting what Barnesville were giving him because we were paying Reverend Pascal this amount. So we talked with him, right? He said the master's degree was this amount. So what we did for every year, every quarter year, we add a percent to it. We add it to it, and we reach out to the student that LCA has. So I think the pastor need to talk about what is the ceiling for master degree holder and what is the ceiling for a BSc holder. But I think they got something on fire for that because that was why Reverend Pierre took us for when he was at Barnesville.
Reverend Doe, Reverend Kogo, and you can take that question and answer it.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, is when you are assigned to a parish, you sit with the parish along with the BMTA and to discuss your salary. To arrange with what it is like. But again, if a pastor have been serving a church, for instance, they pay him $500, and you assign him to the church that will not be able to pay him that amount. Normally some people look at the labor law and say, look, I can't be being paid this amount in so area, and you take me to another area, you want me to be less paid. I think that was the case. That was the case with Bakala. Bakala was already serving. Bakala was serving as PA. Afterwards, he was assigned to Barnesville. So he thought that he should carry the salary he was getting as a bishop assistant with central office. He was demanding, Barnesville to pay that, right? Because he didn't want to come down from his status. That can be one of the issues. That's one of the issues, and they will look at it from the national labor law standpoint and want to defend himself, and not looking from the viewpoint of the church as we are. So that is the only thing I know. But as far as I'm concerned, even though they have certain things on paper, but you still go with the parish to sit down, discuss your salary, and see how best the parish can be able to pay you.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me ask a
Yeah,
question.
let me just
Get ready, Doris.
let me just say something regarding what you guys are saying. I think we all are looking for the root causes of some of our problems. And one is the Lutheran Church is not a church that gave. This is a fundamental problem. When you read the book written by Bishop Ping, he said that in his book, when the missionary came here, they taught us how to give by giving us kerosene and bringing airplane to fly, also different services. But we never took that as a practical teaching for us to follow. We thought that these people were doing good for us, and so we're all learning what they did. But generally, we are not giving, and that cut across both lay people and pastors. We're not giving to our church. You talk about pastor salary. The Lutheran Church in Liberia pastors are the very low pay pastors in Liberia. Imagine I served the church for 21 years. I have never made $100 US as a pastor. 21 years. I never made $100 US as a pastor. You have later who are councils who made more money than pastors, but they will never invest in pastor salary so that pastors can be back, go to them and be begging. You're talking about institutions. The institutions that we work for, they are not payable when it comes to our salary. Just an example. A pastor will be a director for an institution, and probably because of his preaching and other ministerial gift, you'll be seconded to a church as an associate pastor, not because of money, not to earn more money. I heard somebody saying salary disparity. That is true. But like me, if you make me a pastor, an associate pastor for another church you assign me, it's not because I'm going to earn the money. It's all because I need to practice as a pastor, not because I will earn additional money. So let me just make that point straight. There are policy on the book about pastor salary in connection with the pension scheme. The pension scheme that we have says that all pastors should be able to earn the amount of $200 US as a salary in a parish. And that, of course, that is not the case, just because of the pension. So they can calculate the pension in a way that you'll be able to pay 3 or 4 months in a year time. So they say, okay, let's say every pastor making $200, and that is not true. I never made $200 in the church as a pastor, but they calculate my pension on that $200. If you're a bachelor degree holder, if you're a master degree holder, it's $300 US. So that is the clarity I want to make. And we shouldn't say pastors have broken down the institution because they are not qualified. You can't give me one example. Pastors are human beings as well as the laity. The laity are make their contribution. We appreciate them a lot. They are working along with us to run this church. We have more laity in the church than pastors. More laity. When you go to the executive council, they get more laity than pastors. So if we are making some decisions that are not helping the church, it's not only pastors. We all are involved. We need to change the dynamic. We need to move the goalposts. There's a problem of accountability. There's a problem of giving. There are a lot of problems in this church. But we need to be men enough to tell our leaders. We need to work as a church to love our institution. Somebody equipped the Lutheran Church to Liberia. Most of us don't love the Lutheran Church. It just mocks service. I'm not going to invest our time and our money in the church. It's just like Liberia. Liberians don't love Liberia, so our church, our country is not growing. So with the Lutheran Church, we just talk, but we don't put those talks into action. We need to do more. Churches that we came before, they are doing more than us. Something happening. There's some fundamental thing that is happening that we all need to sit and think about. Like somebody said, we need to discuss. Not only discussing, but put it into action. That's my own take.
Elijah,
you
after
very
that,
much,
I
Reverend.
want to ask
Yeah,
a question to Reverend. After that, please.
yeah, Eric.
Okay. So this will be our last round of question, and then we will have Reverend Smo, and Reverend Eric to do the parting comments, and then we can close up.
Sure. Yeah, then we can thank you, Eric or Reverend Dove for coming. I know Eric it's been a long time since we saw. Yeah, I've been with Eric long time ago. Thank you so much for appearing on the show. You know, my question kind of shape a little bit when you talk about your salary and maybe to sit and think back. I wanted to go to a different direction, but just calling your salary, it kind of maybe to little bit sit and think. You know, looking at the type of services that you can provide for the church, and to see your salary cap amount that you just call, it's very sad, to be frank. And we have to do more. Like we said on the show previous time ago, in recent we've been proposing the All Liberia Lottery Conference, where we all can come together as a Democrat. The Lottery Church is not brain drain. We have the resources. We have the human resources capacity. We have the human capital to make the church to be where it is. And this is where someone we are proposing for our conference to change the trajectory of the church on a new level. So you in Liberia, you serve as a pastor, and you see the circumstances right before your eye. For such a conference, what is your view on it? What is your take on it? Can you convince the bishop office that such a conference is necessary?
Yes, Brother Toto, is very, very necessary. If we must go far, there's a need for us to sit and ask ourselves what is happening to the region church. I will talk to the bishop. Those kind of conferences are very good, and those that were here, let them be late. The bishop should sit back and listen, and sometimes don't even make a comment until maybe he is told to make a comment. We want to listen to ourselves and see what is happening. Something is happening in our church that we need to address. I will encourage that. I love that, and I hope that that can be brought forward.
Thank you.
Couple.
Yeah, mine is not a question, it's a comment to what Reverend Do said when it comes to giving, where he said pastors and laity, some pastors and laity, they don't give, and that is truth. If we want to push our church forward, the spirit of giving should be rooted in us. Yes. Other than that, our church will continue to be where we are. Same thing as our contribution to the national level. Someone suggested I would do a data rally twice a year. That's a good point. That's a very good one. But who will take the initiative to do that? Who will take the initiative? Now, for us, like I said, I work on the council, right? The time you will see money in the church, it will be around May and June. That is Mother Day and Father Day. After Mother Day and Father Day, and you can have first Sunday rally, then first Sunday you will get money. Other than that, your whole account will be empty. To even pay pastor, parity will struggle to pay pastor. So the women came out with a strategy that every first Sunday I was riding. We're talking about giving, right? Every first Sunday I was riding. So our strategy was if you born in July, I born in July. We were two in that church born in July. We were three, me, Nuta, with Auntie were born in July. So since you are born in July, the women, each person pay $200. Then you, as an individual, are born in July, you take it as your own. So tell me, if on January to July, you ever to save and you say, oh, they say I want to get my church $200 or $100. From January to July, I want to save that $100 to support myself, my church. I ever. For some of us, we don't want to do it. That's a spirit of giving. It's not in us. So you will see the competition, the women will always dominate. The women will always come up because the women will put themselves into the rally. So you will see only person and Mother Day, Father Day, and the only time money will be in the church, other than that. So even support the budget, we're talking about salary. Why you have been working as a pastor? Then you can't even support the budget as contribution. There is also pay honor to you as $200 for Panope. Then you the pastor, you cannot pay that $200. How much is $200? So the issue of giving, it plays a major role within our Christian life and in our churches. We need to put on that attitude of giving. We need to be rooted into giving. Yes, we really need to put ourselves because we don't have any other source of income. No other source of income besides our offering and tithe that we can pay to our church. So if we don't do it, who will do it for us? How do we pay our pastors? So the issue of the conference, the one Reverend Doe said, he will talk to Bishop and all the pastors will step aside and then the laity take over. It needs to be properly planned. And I think when it is properly planned and we all come off with our various background, with our various strategies, our various suggestions, I think we'll be heading somewhere. But we all need to take the church as our own. As our own. Not all take it as our own. That we don't have anybody to give for nothing. I expect somebody from us to come and pay my pastor when my pastor preaching to me. I expect nobody. So even programs, you plan program, you just plan program one more, you set that program to be successful. No, you plan the program like if for you like you want to raise money, just put ourselves into whatsoever we are doing, and you see the all kind of it. So we all need to put ourselves into our church. We need to take it as our own that we can say born Lutheran, not just the name of born Lutheran. You born Lutheran, why can you contribute to your church? You call you born Lutheran. What's your contribution?
Whether
So we
you want
all
to
need to
highlight
look at that. This is a
Victoria,
very serious issue, a very serious concern that we all need to look at as laity and pastors. We all need to look at it.
Okay.
when people are happy.
Yeah. So
That's from the point of conflict. Yeah.
right.
So
I think we are.
let me just get 10 seconds there. So next
Okay.
week, so next Sunday, we'll be hosting Leo Johnson on the show here. Or the topic will be faith in action. We'll be discussing the same fundraising aspect also too. Why can we contribute to make a literature successful? And you have a strong background kind of entrepreneurship. So we'll be discussing some of the same issue we're discussing today on the next show.
Thank you, Dr. Todo. For me, and Elijah, I don't know if you agree with me on that. I think this is our wrapping up. Then we'll allow our pastors to wrap up and then give our benediction. So for all these, are wrapping up.
Yes.
For me, I'm coming on a contrary on a contrary view with my sister and Dr. Tutu on this, and also my pastor.
Go for it.
That's fine. That's totally fine. My church, she Matthew, I never really check to bounce. And my church in Matthew will never go on a public platform to say we're not paying money because the people not can be out to be out about to pay money. See, Matthew will never.
No, not what I said. Don't misquote me. When I say a tax to Matthew, you breaking on. When I say a tax to Matthew, when you breaking on. When I say money to Matthew.
I come. Remy, I come. Please, Remy, let me just respond to her quickly. Let me respond to her quickly. Every quarter, I don't mean to say this, right? I don't mean to say it, but I'm going to say it. Every quarter, members of St. Matthew, not everyone, every quarter, we put something together and send it to our church to what any project they're doing. That's our own way of contributing to our church. So lead on with St. Matthew. Let me tell you, it requires St. Matthew to pay.
You talking about project? You're talking about you put project.
We put it together and send it. That's what we do. Let me come back to this, right? Elijah, and this is very serious. For us to actually say that our church, we don't give to the church, and our church, we need to love our church. I would want to say that as Lutherans, we love our church. As Liberian Lutherans, LCL, we do love our church, and we do give to our church. I'm coming now. You see, I'm coming. You from Banavia, I'm coming. Let me say this, couple. And couple, you will agree with me. Again, I will go back to LCL. When people contribute money from all the way near Diabli, when people contribute money from Feasible, when people contribute money from Bokeza, and all that money collected was sent to central office, What became the outcome of that money? Today we have no report on that money. That's one. Just 50. Just 50. What have been the outcome of Just 50? We still need to see result on Just 50. What was the outcome of Just 50? LCL. In fact, it was a Home Mission Rally. The first one was Home Mission Rally. And I'd like for the pastor to tell me something on this. The Home Mission Rally. What came out of Home Mission Rally?
Point of information. Point of information on the Home Mission Rally. When the late Reverend Mengon was living, and I'm gonna say the late Reverend Mengon was living. When the late Reverend Mengon was leading the mission, the DMD, at that time. And that's the only department within the LCO that has been struggling in the evangelism department. They don't have much of a support that comes from overseas. So that Home Mission Rally was one of the places where he used to forge parishes to help support the evangelism department.
I agree with you.
And I know since he left that department, I think we need to the best person to answer that question would be for us to bring the new person who's leading that department, Reverend John Yape.
I want to comment on that.
You will comment on that. I'm coming. The both of you here, y'all have the last say. The reason why I'm saying this is I'm not saying that money will not spend in evangelism. I'm defending the fact that we Lutherans, we can support our own because money was sent. I saw money. I counted money, Liberian and US dollars from our own people from New Diable, where car cannot reach, but on the motorbike people can walk to New Diable. People send money. Home Mission Rally, LCL, Just 50. The next one is the Luther FM. You know how much money was collected even in Monrovia District for Luther FM? The Reverend V. Zuster Jakpaswo can tell you that what was collected. What have been the outcome of all the money that were collected? We don't see nothing.
Naming stuff about the Luther FM. We know that one of the names. Listen, one of the names surrounding the Luther FM. We're not coming. As you are calling names and talking about different fundraiser activities that happened in the past, and nothing materialized, right? And you're trying to debunk the idea that people not supporting the church.
We do support our it's accountability. That's what I'm driving to.
It also speaks to what Mother Johnson said. When people are happy, they're gonna pay money, right?
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Like some of these projects in the past that the church initiated and they did not materialize. People came, they saw it, they embraced it, they contributed, and at the end of the day. So like you made mention of the Luther FM. That was a controversial thing that happened during even this going elections. People names were called that were associated with that Luther FM money. So I think it will be really fine. We'll be fine if we can bring the Reverend. We can bring the Reverend Davis on the show as well and quiz her on what happened. We're really happy around that money.
No question about Luther FM money was paid back. It was paid back. So you have to be asking what it was. What was it done with? What did they do with it?
We still need to know what happened before it was paid back. If people give you money to use it for a particular purpose, you're not using it. They have to ask you to pay.
There was a committee. There was a committee set up. The reports are there. Contact the committee share. Contact the committee share. The reports are there.
I don't have access.
I'm coming. Let's make progress. My point is not that the money was siphoned. My point is not that I know at the end of the day we have to bring up.
It was actually siphoned.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's the end. That when we're doing our investigation, we're going to dig all of those. That money was siphoned somewhere, right? What I'm saying is we do contribute. When initiatives come up,
when you are used administratively, it was if administrative purpose.
That was not administrative purpose. That's what I was saying. Let the
But you know the
vision.
reason, you know the reason why they told her to pay,
That's the
you know the reason why they told her to pay back
I
and she
come
paid the
in.
money back
But no,
because
I
it was
come in. I come
mismanaged.
in.
So she paid
yeah,
it back.
with
I
All the
come
other
in.
forms
I'm
have been
coming.
mismanaged. Are they paying
Let
it back?
me
Couple, what you want
they,
to
that
answer for me?
let me land, please. Let me land. Let me please
land.
land, please. I'm about to land, please. Let me land. Okay.
You like interpreting right now, Willie. You can learn. Because you are bringing a lot of you bring a lot of energy to your question.
Yeah,
I thought that was the last round of questions. Now, what is going 1 hour now?
yeah.
No, not a lot of question. I'm just making a point. So
But
Reverend
that's
Joe,
last round question. I just
Somebody
said not
don't
last
want us to
round.
talk now.
because they're not allowing me to finish. Reverend
But,
Joe, Reverend Cockle,
but you
right?
also
Reverend Joe, Reverend
interrupting
Cockle.
other people.
Okay, I will finish on this quickly, just 20 seconds. Reverend Joe, Reverend Cockle. The fact to say that we Lutherans, Liberian Lutheran, LCL Lutheran don't support our own initiatives, my response to that is a no. We do
All right.
support. Even here in the United States, Aliyah has contributed so many times. Friends of LYF in the diaspora, we've been contributing towards the youth camp. Okay, and even at the last minute, the last camp, when the youth were almost to cancel or cut short their camp, we went around, we tried to rally support for the youth and the youth. This shows that we can support our own. But the issue of accountability is the main problem. And when we have an accountability issue, you find that people don't want to support. They say put your money where your mouth is. If you tell people to put their money there and they cannot put their mouth there, then what will happen? They will withdraw support. And this is what happened to us, Reverend Doe. There's no accountability. And if we see accountability in our church, people will pay money. Thank you. See, Matthew will always pay. Now that Banavecha, we got to go beat them before they can't get 25. I read my case. I've gone.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I want to make some comments, especially on the home mission rally. I worked with Reverend Mango when I was not a pastor as an evangelist, and many days.
When y'all, go
Yeah.
happening.
When y'all we went to Bella Umpire was nearly every year that we went to Bella. There were some places because Kakunago and some days we worked for 12 hours just because of the same home mission thing. So I think when those money were coming in for the mission rally, that's how I think it was being used, because I can say that I went so many parts of Liberia because of that mission thing, that for us to do some evangelism work. I work as an evangelist with Reverend Mango, so I just wanted to make that clarity. And one thing I want to say about church, is when people, when trust is hard to build, when trust is broken, to rebuild trust, it becomes very difficult. And I think that is where our problem. That's one of the places our problem lies. When people entrust you with certain things and it doesn't happen, you kill their vision. The motivation they have, you kill it. You demotivate them. So I think that has been one of our problems. But if what they have noticed about Lutherans, if money is being paid for this purpose and they see you going further, people will be motivated to pay. And I can say that as an example. When I was at
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you. God bless you.
When I was at All Saints, I started that project. Because people saw the project going on. Every people that I invited, they came to the program. When they came, they even went to someone else who promised every month I will pay this amount, just because of that project, because they saw the project going on. So when people have trust in you, they entrust you with anything, and you don't implement what they want you to implement. And when people get demotivated, to remotivate them, it becomes difficult. That is one part.
That's one of our problems. That is one of our problems. You know, so we stay. That's still also bow down to accountability.
Yeah.
It still bow down to accountability. Accountability. So we have to really put ourselves together.
Yes.
And redesign our plans.
Thank you.
To see how we can move our church forward. Well,
exactly.
Actually, there are many things that are going on wrong in the church that we need to correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is why
he's
Thank you very much.
All Liberian Retreat Conference.
That is why
all Liberian Retreat
Very
Guys,
we gotta move ahead.
It doesn't mean that the people can give.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the people can't give.
That's wrong. That's wrong. You got a number of people that give and those who won't give. Look at the ratio.
But yeah, they put give money. Now they see banana people gotta go put.
Well, they're taking the money, they're keeping the money.
See, banana people gotta
go. That can really know the time to give a closing statement.
I'm not protected in this conversation.
You are very much.
Sorry. Let Remy land, please. Let Remy land, please. Sorry, Remy.
Yeah, Remy, you were hijacking it, and I want to say sorry about that. Guys, let's give Remy a chance to lay his thoughts, and then we'll give Remy the same opportunity to give a closing statement, and then we can say what we want to say and then close the show.
Go
ahead, Remy Samo.
As I was saying, maybe the Luther FM, if that project was just going to keep on, even if the money was not enough to complete it, once the people see the project going on, they will give. They will surely go ahead. They will contribute to it because they are seeing that their money is at work. So these are just some of the things that we need to rethink and see where we are fall short to try to correct them, so that we can redesign our thoughts and plans concerning our church to see how best we can go on. The way we were yesterday in the 1960s, in the 1970s, in the 80s, is no longer the same position. We are no longer in that era. So where we are, we need to redesign our plan, far different from what we were yesterday when we things that we did that were successful in the 80s. We know that it's not successful now. We have to redesign to move from there and go further. That's just what I want to say for now.
Building trust is important. Thank you very much, Reverend. That's very important. Reverend Doe. Thank you for being very patient with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just say a few things. The facts is that I will agree with all of you when it comes to accountability. There's an accountability issue in our church. Nowadays, Lutherans or the Lutheran church is not like how it used to be before. After the war, the Lutheran church was the darling of the West. There were a lot of money that came into the church, but we never thought on today what will happen after the whole concept of the post-war era. We are no more in the post-war era. We are in development now. We never prepared for that. We ate everything that we have, and here we are today. Giving must not hinge on whether somebody ate money or not. I'm not supporting corruption or money eating the church. Your part as a child of God, your responsibility as a child of God is to give. If somebody eat God's money, God will go after them. There are a lot of examples around. People eat church money. See how their life goes. So you don't have to stop giving because somebody is eating money. Because the Bible says, give, it shall be given back to you. So give. And also seek after accountability. But if somebody will say people are not happy, so not give, I mean, you are doing it to God's church. You're not doing it to the individuals that are eating God money. All we need to do, we need to put accountability mechanism in play, in place so that our people can give. We can hold our people feet to the fire that they can give account of what they are being trusted to as stewards of God's people's money. But we shouldn't say because people are not giving account, so we will not give. No, let's keep giving, and that's step of our giving. Really, frankly speaking, you have your perception, you have your experience, you have the right to disagree. I'm telling you, compare our church with other churches when you come to giving. We don't really give. We only give when it is program time. We give as a group or individual. I'm not saying Lutherans, some Lutherans are not giving, they get some Lutherans that are giving. Even
that's the point that Woody is not getting. That's the point that he's not getting.
Even pastors, some of us, we don't give. Look on the records. You don't see some of our pastors' name there. You know,
they get paid back.
So with the
convention. Very
They can't give.
It has been a very good conversation.
Yeah, we're talking at the general level.
Yeah, we are leaving with us on the main time.
Y'all up there. Where the money will come from?
Be a good steward of the church. Pay your time, but pastor can pay time. Who is that good steward?
So
that's
ladies and gentlemen.
The closest thing for what we do is keep giving. What are the eating? What are that? Keep giving. Keep giving. What are the
Keep giving. Our Christians also give.
Keep giving.
Now God money. Now God punishment. Keep giving.
Keep giving. Keep giving.
All right, gentlemen. Okay, gentlemen, we gotta bring this to. And every long rope has an end. So it has been a wonderful show. I want to say thank you to our viewers, those of you who have been very patient today, just following the show and contributing by your comments and your questions. It has been really wonderful having all of you on here. And I just want to say that we all have made some really important points here. And one of the key takes away from this program today is the issue of accountability. And that is the problem of our church right now. The church needs to rebuild her trust with her parishioners. She needs to rebuild trust with her partners. She needs to rebuild trust with the country as a whole. So we have our trust have been broken on so many levels within the LCL, because as we speak right now, the issue of accountability is big, is huge. Even the LCL now is even paying back money to her partners for money that was made. Not look what to the ELCA. They pay money back to the ELCA for funds that were misappropriated. So all of those things, all of those things has impact on the image of the church. And I hope that our leaders can take cue from these conversations and help to reshape the vision and mission of our church. So, Reverend Small, we want to say thank you for joining this conversation and making so much meaningful impact on the conversation today. Your contribution is highly appreciated here, as always. And we look forward to maybe one day officially inviting you and you sit in the hot seat, and then we can grill you from that point. But today you were just making contributions, so we didn't grill you. But we would take up time to really invite you to be in the hot seat, and then we can all have conversation together. So with that, if anybody don't have anything to say with it, we can say where we can give our benediction and we can call this a day.
Can we get our closest in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when I listen to what we do, statement, right? And maybe to think about, I don't know whether you guys saw the podcast for the late president, one of you guys talking about. When you are speaking to the AFV or your duty to self. Obey.
Yeah,
obey, right? Obey.
Mhm. Obey.
You are telling the AFL your duty is to obey.
Yeah.
Obey. So we take away from a good friend, where we do comment is we should keep giving. Even when there's even there's an accountability issue, we should keep giving.
I got money.
Which I think I have problem with it. I mean, that's my opinion. That's my
Very,
opinion.
Toto, did you read the gospel for today? Luke chapter 6.
I read the gospel. We are only
if you never read the gospel for today, go back and read it today. It says that
I would not put my money anywhere where there's no accountability. So it's a serious issue.
I was talking about accountability.
The bishops are there on a very good note.
Luke said, "Give and don't expect to receive."
Yeah, bishops are on a very good note.
That's gospel right there. Give, don't expect to receive.
Yeah, we'll give, bro. You see,
But everybody talks about accountability.
Of accountability.
They say when somebody take your coat, don't hesitate to give them your shirt.
No problem.
It's a copy about, to be a evil of the church, but at the same time too, we want accountability also too. With the bishops, the bishops had a very good note when he came over. He asked for verification on this which he had gone down the drain. We are hearing nothing. When the bishop was on the show some time ago, he started very frustrated because we hear the passion here too, that he had not been supported in the process, which we know it's a very difficult process. We all literally had to stay tall when it comes to accountability in the church. Other than that, we would not get the support we needed for the church. When the vice president, I keep saying that when the vice president was here at that time, when Phoebe Hospital had an issue, we had a conference with the LC.
You were in darkness.
Yeah, with the doctor, with the electricity issue. And we had a conference call with the ELC Women Wing to raise money for Phoebe Hospital. In that conference, when the central office for ELC, they told us they have serious problem accountability to the Lutheran Church in Liberia. They are not comfortable to send any money to Liberia. They told us. So we have to do good. We can't accountability in the church. So which Lutheran can give, the call upon what will give. The accountability should be the fulcrum of us, every one of us. That's the reason we help the church to raise money to be successful in some of the program. So that's why our next podcast, next week, somebody will be inviting me, who is an entrepreneur, who will launch a learning center in Liberia. He's been to a very good Canada item of raising fund to help the church to come up with a business strategy to see how best the church can be successful in raising money for the church also too. So we want the best for the church. That's why we are here. So just to close on that.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, you get me wrong. Get me well. I'm not against accountability. I will never be against accountability. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Number two, when I talk about giving, I was not only looking at LCR level, I was taking it down from the parish level. So we should all look at that too.
Thank you.
That's my closing comment. And I did not tell you on this platform. I didn't say LCR needed a big benefit, but before we pay our contribution to LCR office, that was not what I said. So for the record, thank you.
Credit record, middle record straight. Credit record be straight. All right. What do you got to think in a closing statement?
So my closing statement, I want to thank all of our viewers again. I want to thank most especially our two pastors for joining us. And Reverend Kokolo, you've been here before, and this is the second time just popping in. And we are hoping that, like Brother Elijah said, in a very, soon, near distant future, you will be sitting in a hot seat. And then who knows, you might be sitting in the comfortable seat as well, because we need a pastor on this, as one of our panelists. So hopefully you can join us. But I want to say this, that the issue of accountability, I want to join all of my fellow colleagues here, the issue of accountability is very, very important. And this is not to the current administration, it's not to the past administration, it's to previous administration. Common thing like 200 bags of rice during the COVID period. Today, we don't know how the entire process went. 200 bags of rice. Some of them stop on LCL compound. Some of them stop. Some of our people don't even know if 200 bags of rice was sent. And actually, they said that it was going to be sent to the widows of the LCL, which is a fine initiative. That's a good a section of the church that we can give that rice to, that we have given that rice to. But guess what? We don't know how the whole thing went. And some of us got credible information. Like right now, some of us got credible information that there's something stirring up in the LCL. But the information is still developing, and we will get to it, and we'll let our people know. But again, this is the thing, that the issue of accountability, once we are accountable, once we show accountability for anything that is given to us, the Bible says that if God gave you a talent and gave you small, if you are trusted with small and you multiply it, you show accountability for the small that God gave you, God will give you more. I'm an acolyte. The pastor is here. If I'm lying, the pastor will say that's true or not. Because he's not only a pastor, but he's studying the Bible, not deep down in the Bible. So he will tell us whether I'm lying or not. That's what the Bible says. That's what I know as an acolyte. So please, don't be like Barnavale Parish and St. Peter's. When they write check, they check with bond. Barnavale, they got to write B letter to them. Market cube.
I'm very check back. Well, LCL, ask LCL.
You are being too personal today. I don't like that.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. As an acolyte, okay, I'll be quiet. I'm quiet.
All the pepper ingredient you can pack it in the warehouse, they can still reach to the mother. So St. Peter will reveal your mother. I don't care how big you be. You can put all the storage devices or what it's in Matthew, but still tall. So I don't care if we run a one bag check. It doesn't mean that we need to write a good one.
Can you imagine Caesar Goya and Elijah?
Let me get you a fun fact. The LCL. Listen, fun fact. The LCL, the Bishop Partner Administration, when they got into office, the very first check they sent to the bank is came back. It was a bad check. It came back. So if the LCL check your balance, who else check your balance? Nobody check your balance.
Very good benediction.
Where you got that information
the endorsement, the committee. The committee for the endorsement ceremony for Bishop ordination, how they call it?
Consecration.
Consecration. Yeah, the committee.
Yeah. They went to the old checkbook that they were not using, that the checkbook they used. So they went to the wrong account.
That Michelle Tobacco that check. Very
give our
thank you for the invitation, even though it was abrupt, but I'm glad being here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity today to make some contribution to the discussion today. And as I said, you were being too personal today, and don't think that St. Matthew have never had problem.
Oh no,
St. Matthew have had
can get money
in paying her quota, even to the district. I'm well informed about that. So don't make big mouth, right? Learn how to control your mouth.
Okay.
Mouth can put you too much problem. Okay. All right. The Lord be with you.
And also with
And also,
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity that we can gather and think about our church, to have some discussion as to how to move the church, your kingdom forward on this earth. We pray, God, that you will guide us, strengthen us. Things that we talk about, help us, oh God, give us a wisdom that we will design plans to be able to regalvanize those things that we can do to uplift your kingdom to the LCL on planet earth. We pray, God, that even as we plan to have a conference for all Lutherans, help us, God, and direct us our path. The Lord, we will be able to go through it successfully and help us to be accountable for all that we do. We honor you, Lord, and give you the praises. Even be with the partners that have come here today, those who designed this program. We pray, God, that you will keep giving them wisdom in this direction, that we will be able to talk more about you on this platform. Thank you for your grace, and as we live, we are now leaving your presence. May you guide us, lead us, and direct our path in every way that we walk, oh God, so that your name will be praised, and we will be blessed as your people. Thank you now and forever. This we pray to Christ Jesus, our Lord, with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen.